is the 283rd episode of CloudFocus Weekly for the second week of April 2018. This episode is titled TrailheaDX 18?
I think you got it.
Yeah, TrailheaDX, TrailheaDX, Trailhead whatever. CloudFocus Weekly is brought to you by Clone This User. Duplicates you'll love. Clone an existing Salesforce user with a click of a button via the desktop or on Salesforce Mobile. Soon to be renamed Salesforce Einstein Mobile. Just kidding. Available for free on the Exchange or clonethisuser.com. I'm your host.
Ooh.
Jason Atwood.
Oh, you just threw something on the agenda there.
Yep. And
this is going to be a fun one.
Co-host, speaking before he's told to spoke,
is
Justin Elstein. Justin, how you doing?
It's already started.
Meow. We are in the cat studio today, not the bird studio.
Studio C.
Meow. And it's has a lot of cat paraphernalia around here.
Is there really?
As well as a live cat.
I don't even notice it.
Yeah, I know. You don't.
It's bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, there's a salt and pepper shaker, which is, normal.
Whatever.
And
I was looking at our
where's the other stuff?
I was looking at our We Moved cards the other day.
Did you?
And you need to be stopped.
Did you find a little Easter egg in there? You approved it.
I did not approve. I did. Told him to change it, and I said, "That's it. No more from him."
Oh man, that's a shame.
Yeah. Anyway, for those of
nobody would have cared. It would have been really cute, and you just put a stop to it.
That's right. No, I didn't put a stop to it. I didn't take it away.
You did.
No, I didn't.
You just said I'd take it out.
No, I had it changed. I didn't take it out.
Oh, so it's different?
It's different, but still there.
That's good.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, what we're talking about, we moved our address change, but we didn't move physical location, so we're sending out an address change notification, like a mailer, and we had our head of marketing, also the bottom of marketing, but our marketing person, Catherine, who likes a lot of feedback, and so goes to a lot of people for feedback. And sometimes, if you don't get in the middle of that feedback, people try to put like their pets in the windows of our. Oh, look at the Justometer; it's going up. We have an 8.5 on the Justometer.
We're on a second gourd of mate.
Oh,
so the gerba's running through my blood right now.
This is why I spent no time with you at TrailheaDX, because I'm so sick of you and your mate.
I didn't have mate at TrailheaDX.
I know.
That's my rant on TrailheaDX. More mate, less coffee.
All right, so we got a lot to talk about today.
What is this rant? You have a rant.
I put rant in here.
Rant. Open-ended.
I want to do a little mini rant. Salesforce is doing something that I guess they've been doing for years. It just really annoys me when they do it. It's this whole, we're going to change the navigation. We're going to start putting in stuff all the time to get you to use Lightning.
So what are we talking about now?
Well, it started with that pop-up.
The pop-up.
Which
I
was
got
annoying.
it the other day. I must have logged into some org.
Right.
I got it.
That one they didn't tell us was coming. That was a total they just did it. So for those of you who don't know, if you have Lightning enabled and you have permission to do it, if you're in Classic, it just pop up and then it asks you a survey. Why aren't you using Lightning? It was completely annoying, and they shouldn't do that. So they apologize. Oh, so sorry. We're sorry. We didn't. We didn't tell anybody. We just did it. And for us admins or people who kind of have to do this work, you don't really want things popping up that you don't know about. So then they snuck into the release notes, 539 pages. They stuck, one line that says, by the way, we're going to put this huge link at the top that says switch to Lightning. That's not contextual, that you can't turn off, and that doesn't, and there's no common one on the other side that says switch back to Classic. But it was in the release notes, so I can't complain that it wasn't there. And now the rumor is they're going to be doing more of this stuff. They're putting in more of these notifications, more of this switch to Lightning, go use Lightning. It's better in Lightning. Why are you not in Lightning? Geez, why are you not in Lightning? I just don't agree with this. I don't agree with this kind of concept or software design where they're constantly annoying the users. to move over to their new UI. Like, if you want us to move over, first of all, finish it. What was it the other day that I couldn't do? And I was like,
Well, I've got a couple of grapes.
Oh,
Still sorting products.
Yeah, there's a million
Sorting opportunity product line items. Apparently there's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of features that exist in Lightning, but not Classic.
700.
700?
Don't believe that.
Well, they probably exist in Classic also.
No, there's 700 that are only new to Lightning. There's 700 Lightning only features.
Oh, like checking a box next to a task to mark it complete.
Probably
it's probably considered one of these 700
ability
features.
to change the theme.
I can still mark the task complete.
Yes.
In Classic, whatever, doesn't matter.
Yes.
But yeah, the pushing in a way that is not controlled by the administrator of the system itself is inappropriate for an enterprise class software.
Yeah, this is one of those lessons of just because you can doesn't mean you should. Like,
Right.
You can turn on links all over the place and annoy users. You can, do stuff behind admins' backs, kind of. You can put out a lot of, what I would consider visual and UI spam, but that doesn't mean you should. Like, yeah, we're all going to get to Lightning. We know. And, the best way to move to Lightning is A, finish it, make it feature complete compared to Classic, and then just set a date. Sorry, set a date. I don't care. 2020. That's it. Classic's over.
Yeah.
And then go talk to the enterprise clients who are paying you millions and millions of
dollars. Go
dollars.
talk to the Internet Explorer 11 people.
Yeah, it's enjoyable. Anyway, I just wish they would handle that better. I don't like it when they just do it and then come back. Oh, yeah, that was such a bad idea. Why didn't someone in the organization of the 30,000 users say, hey guys, maybe this isn't the greatest idea? So anyway, actually, I think I'm going to skip these two because they're not about the topic we're going to do. So we're going to go talk about that thing.
What are you going to skip?
We're going to put these for next week.
You're going to skip these blog posts?
Yeah, we'll do it for next week. Because we're going to have nothing else to talk about next week.
People who tune in just to hear about the blog posts are going to be rather upset.
All right, we'll talk about them.
Well, no, let's not.
I mean, they're deep, though. They're
super
deep. They're not like quick talks.
They're so deep.
We could either just mention them, or we could talk about them.
Hey, there's new blog posts on blog.arcusinc.com. Go read them. We'll talk about them whenever we come back next time.
Next time on CloudFocus.
Whenever.
It's
It's at least 2 weeks.
It's at least 2 weeks, but then we'll have a whole bunch.
Yeah, we'll have a ton of them.
And we'll have this other topic, but we've already talked about it. So why don't we talk about this topic? Because I think it's more fun, and we're just there. And it kind of goes off my rant.
Let's do it.
All right, so let's talk about TrailheaDX.
Okay. I was there.
Yeah, you were there. So it's the third year. It is spelled Trailhead X or Trailhead DX. The capital D and X is pronounced Trailhead DX.
That's right.
The D is for double. You pronounce it twice. The end of the trailhead, and you put it with the D, even though it's one D.
It makes sense.
There's nothing about this naming convention for this conference that I like.
I like it.
I don't like that it's called Trailhead DX.
I love it.
I don't like that they capitalize the DX.
I love that.
And I don't like that they have a product called DX.
I love that too.
It just doesn't make any sense.
All the things you don't like, I love.
So it was your first time. It's the third year. I went last year. You joined me this year, I guess.
I did, sort of.
And I didn't spend any time with you. It was the opposite of Punta Dreamin', where we spent countless hours together. So now that you're back, now that you've had some mate, now that you're in your MVPJs.
No, I've been told that's incorrect.
No?
They're MVP pajamas.
No, they're MVPJs.
No, the P doesn't stand for pajama.
What does it stand for?
I don't know what the P in MVP stands for. What does it stand for?
Your mind just got blown.
Oh, you did just blow my mind. What does Salesforce MVP stand for?
Person.
Really?
Yeah.
They didn't think that one through.
PJ?
See, Trailblazer
Pajamas.
was well thought through. They're like, this is a thing. MVP's like, yeah, sure. That was back in the good old days. Like, yeah, whatever. That works.
Yeah, MVP. Let's call it MVP.
Just do it.
Anyway, you still are in your pajamas, I want to say.
I am in my pajamas.
3:16
in the same
afternoon.
pajamas that we talked about the last time.
That you were in?
I was in these pajamas the last time we podcasted, I believe.
I hope they've been washed since.
Well, can't you tell? Look how, wrinkly they are, that means they were washed.
Nope. Nope.
Look, these are wash wrinkles.
Oh, I still haven't worn mine. They're somewhere up.
They're really comfy.
Are they?
I like them.
I'm not a big like full pajama person.
But Me neither. This is my only pair.
You wear them all the time.
Because I'm in my apartment.
So let's talk about Dreamforce. Let's talk about Dreamforce. Yeah,
let's talk about TrailheaDX.
Or #Baby Dreamforce. Patent pending.
How many people were at TrailheaDX?
So I think it's like 2,000, 2,500.
You're gonna go with that number.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go with the number of the person who was there, who's from Salesforce, had told us.
Okay, perfect number. What a perfect size. Yeah. Great size. So
why don't you explain what it is to those who haven't been or have never heard of it? It's not the best in business for no reason. Here we are. So, not enough mate in this one.
Yeah, I gotta take a sip. So it's a conference that is, well, I guess it's there.
If you spell Trailhead, I'm gonna slap you.
Trail Heart. So it's a developer conference, but I think it's more of a admin/developer with a splash of marketing conference. Salesforce can't just have a developer.
In the coconut and mix it all.
They can't just have a developer conference where they just go developer. They gotta have some marketing stuff going on.
Yeah, they can.
I just watched that video yesterday for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Still very funny.
Still amazing.
Are you ready? All right, if anybody doesn't know, go Google
Steve Ballmer developers video.
Yes.
And you'll have a good time with that.
As he just sweats profusely.
Yes, it's so good.
Screams around the stage.
Also, you can look at the Windows 95 launch keynote, also a classic.
Oh, man.
Very good one. Anyway, so yeah, TrailheaDX. So it was two parts. They combined what were two conferences as of last year, one called Destination Success, the other called TrailheaDX. They combined them into one and just called it TrailheaDX.
So because it is the S-canned.
Yeah, so in the year, Salesforce University and the Trailhead team became one Ohana. So I'm trying my best.
Doesn't it just feel wrong
the
coming
worst.
out of your mouth?
I'm not good at that word. So
because you're not Hawaiian?
I don't know. I don't feel it. So anyway, there was a 3-day hardcore boot camp at the very front end of TrailheaDX that people could go sign up for a 3-day course in, I think there were like 8 different courses or tracks that you could hop into. Was it held
in Moscone West?
I believe it was, yes.
Yeah, okay.
And they were meant to, like the in-person trainings that you would go to from what was Salesforce University, but I think shorter because usually they're like 4 or 5 days, and these were 3.
Yeah, so DX last year was a 5-day conference. The 5th day meant nothing because it was just the test in the morning.
You're talking about
Destination Success last year. It was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of full training,
right?
And Friday was the take your test.
This was
time.
So this
3
was
days. Or Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
This was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday with the tests in the slots,
right?
So, you could go get your advanced admin, get your admin, developer, whatever it was. They had a bunch of different tracks that you could go through. And you get the 2 vouchers to take some certs.
So I didn't go to the boot camp this year, but I heard it was similar to the boot camp from last year's Destination Success. I will say the one thing that now that I went to both, or I went to the TrailheaDX and I went to Destination Success last year, the nice thing about Destination Success last year, it was so focused on the learning that they were like, everything was like, hey, everybody, we're going to get certified. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Like, who's getting certified today? It was very kind of rah-rah. We're all here to get certified. Whereas TrailheaDX this year, TrailheaDX, whatever, didn't feel as like, so yeah, he came out of the boot camp and then he went right into this conference. And we had someone go for Marcus, and we also had, I had a couple clients who went. And they're like, yeah, it was great. They passed, great. But it didn't have that sort of very focused, because there was this conference at the end that really wasn't about certification. But anyway,
Still about learning, though. At the end of the day.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they did standing. They had everybody stand up. Like, who got a cert today? Raise your hand. Like, it was very, like, about getting certs.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like that company, the
Developer.
No, the triangles are the pyramid scheme company. What's that company?
Oh, Life Ashore or Life Stent or something.
Whatever it is.
The one from that show from the
There's the
documentary,
the whole deal, like
Green something,
yeah,
Green Life,
whatever.
Anyway, keep going.
So boot camp up front, and then a kind of like a 2-day. You could call it a 2-day world tour, or you could call it a 2-day Dreamforce. I think it leans more towards a Dreamforce than a world tour.
Definitely.
Even though, and I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this, it's such a better conference. Because there's no sales and marketing people there. It's so amazing. Like, I hope I don't get in trouble for that. But at the same time, why wouldn't you, as a consultant or as an admin or as a developer, why wouldn't you want to be surrounded with other people who do that work, as opposed to the marketing person just trying to show you something that doesn't exist, or the salesperson trying to sell you something that may or may not exist? It is so much better to just learn the things, walk over to a booth and not be sold on something, but talk to somebody who knows the product. Yeah. Wow. What a novel concept.
It is a much, much, much more intimate affair. And yes, the big piece that's missing, no expo. The expo is built right into the Trailhead area.
It's tiny. Right. They're like off to the side.
Well,
like, thanks. You're off to the side.
Right. Good luck selling them for next year. But anyway, you're right in the middle, I guess, but there's no expo. So I actually went looking for the expo because I wanted a mint at one point. I'm like, I'll go to the expo and there'll be someone will have a mint. No one had mints because it's a very not conference. Then you're right. Remove the marketing stuff. The vendors are not there doing the, like at Dreamforce, Aptus and whatever, and MuleSoft, not so much anymore, but and Deloitte, and they have these huge booths and thousands of people, and it's just an affair. This is like, hey, walk in, go to a session. You could go to every session. You could go to every keynote because there was time to go. Like, you didn't have to make a choice. It wasn't Sophie's choice of keynotes where you'd have to be like, well, I can only do one of the 7 keynotes that are going on right now.
All the product keynotes are happening at the same time in different places.
4 miles apart from each other.
Right.
So
enjoy walking up and down that hill.
And then you're right. The on the sales side, meaning Salesforce sales or vendor sales, or whatever, it's almost non-existent. So it just feels very admin-y. I don't think it feels very developer-y. I feel like, they talked about, I love the concepts they do, the no-code, low-code, and pro-code.
Pro code. I like pro code.
Pro code. Well, pro code is
all
DX.
My code is pro code.
I felt it was 45% low code, no code. It was 20%. What did I say? Low code, no code, low code, and then whatever the rest of the percentage is in pro code. It did not feel as developer-y, even as it did last year. Last year was much more, I don't know, maybe it's just the sessions I picked, but it was much more developer last year. True development, Apex, Lightning components. This year I felt it was less. Much more about Trailhead this year, surprisingly, or not surprisingly, much more about my Trailhead, less about, DX and stuff like that and Lightning components. So anyway, interesting spin on it. I really enjoyed it. Baby Dreamforce all the way.
Yeah, it felt like when I first started going to Salesforce events.
Except for it was smaller than any event you've probably ever been, Dreamforce you've ever been to.
Well, any Dreamforce, yeah. Because I think my first Dreamforce was 07, 07, and I think...
You didn't get to go to 06?
No, and I will kill you if you continue to mention it. Because,
There's a just-a-meter going down.
Certain people went and certain other people
didn't
go.
Just call her out by name. Lisa Johns got to go, and you didn't get to go. Justin Edelstein out, Lisa Johns in, because she was...
Good thing she went.
Because,
she had all that, influence and brain power.
Is this an 11? Oh, wow. Is this an 11-year grudge at this point?
It's not against her. It has nothing to do with her. She
the
didn't
powers-
decide to
It was
go.
the powers that be.
Someone said, you have to go. And she's like, crap. She's like, so I guess I'll be like taken out for dinner and like whatever.
Yeah.
Cool.
She learned about no code and
Yeah.
pro code.
And you know, your boss went, he learned tons.
He certainly did.
Yeah. That other guy went, he learned a ton. All these people have, you know, gone on to do so much in the Salesforce ecosystem.
I think that it's more of been your. It's like Tom Brady being picked
It's
late in
my
the draft.
it's
your
my chip
on the shoulder.
It's my chip.
You didn't get to go to that first one.
Yeah. Because,
Anyhow.
you know, that was their mistake.
Baby Dreamforce. So go back to Trailhead.
That was the company that shall not be named mistake. Send some moronic executives to.
Never mind, they ended up eating
place.
the cost of every license.
Hey,
but
hey, hey. We don't talk out loud about things,
why not?
about this company.
That company, it doesn't even exist anymore. The
company
name doesn't even exist anymore.
No, it's
It
amazing.
literally doesn't exist.
You,
I think I can talk about it when the
do
company
you know
doesn't
why? Because they
exist.
sent those morons to Dreamforce instead of me. That's why
So
they
the
don't
company
exist.
that's on my resume that like I worked there for, that does not exist.
does not exist.
That name doesn't exist. It got taken over.
What happens if you go to that URL?
Oh,
Like, where do you get
the thing that we worked on
Yeah,
for years?
where do you get forwarded to? Like,
Where do you think?
My guess is
Login
MS.
dot Morgan Stanley client
There it is.
.com/UX.
There it is.
there you
Well,
go.
you got the user experience part right. All right, cool. Yeah, so Dreamforce, TrailheaDX. I really did enjoy it. I do wish that they would bring back the podcasting studio.
You still gonna go on that?
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of fun. Like to
But
be
that
able to
wasn't-
podcast at Dreamforce, to be able to podcast. There are so many. I don't see why they don't have this.
Because they don't see value in it.
Well, is there really value in like just having an empty corner?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's where the people sit to be on their phone.
Yeah, that's not valuable. They're just sitting there on their phone.
Anyway, the other great thing, and I know this is small compared, I'm kind of, my feet are already tired thinking about Dreamforce, is that because it's small, you can stay in the hotel like up the block. So
Well, you can do that at Dreamforce too. You just choose not to.
well, I choose
you
not
can
to
stay at that Marriott.
It's
No
just
big deal.
Very expensive.
I mean, the real big part is that the whole conference is in Moscone West. That's the part.
Right.
It's not that.
Let's talk about Moscone South becoming
Oh my.
massive. Is that going to
Yeah.
be done by Dreamforce? Don't
No
think so.
way. Didn't look like it.
Yeah. Anyway, but that was so nice, just being able to like boop 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 boop. But of course, as a traditional Dreamforce goer, I did it like I would do a Dreamforce, which is I left in the morning and I went the entire day, and then I came back to my hotel. I was like, you could have popped back and forth like 6 times.
Yeah.
It was really easy.
I popped back and forth twice in one day, I think.
Yeah.
Just to drop something off, grab a computer, bring it, drop it back off.
Totally enjoy this. I like this conference for us and where we are in our lives. This is a more, I guess, useful conference for obviously recruiting, which we did, and sort of catching up with people, which is the best part, which is about learning stuff. I mean, at one point I was sitting there at a booth talking about a product. I won't try to say a name, and the person's not giving me the information I wanted. So I text the product manager, hey, can you come give me the information I want? Sure, I'll be there in 5 minutes. 5 minutes later, that product manager shows up. 5 more minutes later, the product manager's boss shows up, and we're all sitting around having this like really in-depth conversation about this product. That doesn't happen at Dreamforce. Those guys are
Too busy.
Guys and gals are off doing.
They're in EBCs.
They're in executive briefing sessions.
C.
What's the C for?
Committee? Perhaps?
College?
I think it's committee,
Oh, okay.
but it's probably not.
Yeah.
It's not session
not
because it's a C.
It's definitely a C.
We know I'm closer.
You are closer. But for that reason, and again, you kind of get everything. You get all the fun. You get a little bit of the. We'll talk about. I mean, Mark Hamill spoke. Which was
Yes,
fun.
Mark Hamill spoke. There was a Stevie Wonder concert.
They did a fireside chat with Mark and Parker.
I missed that one. So silly of me because that was the only like public statements that they made at the conference, and I wasn't there for it.
They had. And Mark and Parker weren't the big show because
No.
during the keynote, they sat on the side on the buddy bench
Yep.
and watched but they didn't speak.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting.
That's right.
The other feedback I'd have for the keynote is you got to cut, especially at that conference, cut that just generic content down, like the up and to the right and the we're so...
No, that keynote just wasn't...
But
the whole thing needs to be redone. No, you need an opening keynote.
But it shouldn't be that content.
It shouldn't be that content at all. Because even that content...
And it wasn't that content last year, by the way. It was much more...
Even beyond...
focused.
So, all right, Keith Block did his thing for 45 minutes.
Best Keith Block
performance. He's getting better.
It's a low bar, so it's like...
He's getting way better. He's actually quite funny.
He was funny this time.
So...
Forgot one of his kids.
Forget all that content, like, how is Salesforce doing as a company? They're doing well. We get it. Thank you.
That should be
check.
Like a slide.
Done. 1 slide, 2 minutes, done. But then they stick to their formula of let's tell a story
about the
using a client or a customer and let's show some stuff and like talk about it like really kind of abstractly. And the geek in me, and I feel like there's a lot of geeks at this conference, want to know, how'd you do that?
Right.
How did you do that? And that keynote is an opportunity to take one story and talk about it for 2 hours. Which was the
story that they did this time?
Oh, they brought up a number of... they had the WeWork story.
Right.
Where they're like using augmented reality to plan out how to sit in an office. Like, no, it's like...
We're going to
deep dive into that, please.
By the way, we're going to see that again at Dreamforce. That one will be at Dreamforce.
And there was another one. There were like 2 or 3 stories. It's the way that they do the keynotes. They bring up a company that you've heard of, and they show some whiz-bang demo thing.
Right.
And it's like, all right, how'd you do that? Because this is the conference where you can do that, and the audience will respect it. How do you do that? How did that work? Bring up somebody who knows how it works.
Show the pro code.
Well, what was the technologies that went into actually doing that? Don't just say Sales Cloud Platform Lightning win. Just what went into that? How'd that work? Don't just drag some custom component onto a page like it's magic and anyone can do it in 5 minutes, because that's not how it works either. We're building an app, full-on Lightning, full-on custom components.
LDS? And
full on everything.
LDS?
And it's not a 5-minute thing. Sure, at the end of the day, I can drag and drop 3 components on a page and they talk to each other. But I'd love to know what happened there. How'd you do that augmented reality thing? And what did it write back to? And how did that work? What technologies are you using? This is the audience for that. You don't have to just sit there and do it as a marketing story, because that's what it was. So it's a video that you can show at any time. WeWork is transforming the way that everybody works by sitting in fish bowls and drinking free coffee.
Beer.
And ping pong.
Lots of ping pong. All right. Well, then...
Angry.
But I know, you went from really loving this...
I really did enjoy the conference. I just think that the keynote doesn't need to be the keynote doesn't need to be a world tour keynote. The keynote doesn't need to be a Dreamforce keynote. The keynote should be a developer keynote. I asked, where was Peter Coffey? He wasn't there. He should have keynoted it.
He's with Chatty. Wherever Chatty is where Peter Coffey is.
Peter Coffey should have been there, and Peter Coffey should have keynoted this thing with his visionary stuff. That would have been interesting. I don't need to see some Salesforce, but some fake thing on the stage.
Wow. You went from really liking it to not liking it.
I liked it. I'm just giving constructive feedback.
My favorite part, and then we'll have to get on to our picks because we're running out of time here, is my favorite part was the fireside chat, and only because...
Drink some mate.
That's Justin pouring his mate. My favorite part is the fireside chat, because I feel like that's when a little bit of the marketing thing comes down. Now this year... Unlike past years, 0 questions from the audience, which at first I was kind of like, oh, you're kind of avoiding the questions. But then I realized, nah, because the most questions are sort of self-congratulatory.
I love you. Thank you.
Hey, Mark, you guys have transformed my life. You guys are so great.
Come to my wedding.
Can you tell me how better you are than... I don't know, whatever. So it was good. There was some good questions. And I find that they will talk about real stuff. They ask some nice questions. The fascinating part, and I think this actually encapsulate Salesforce, which is a company I know almost as well as I know my own company, encapsulates their inner struggle. And it was when they were talking about growth in the early years and building and getting developers on board, and how they were so slow to hire developers, and they actually built the company from small, tightly intertwined groups of developers who were doing great, and it was a slow path to building up these great teams. It wasn't about just hiring tons and tons of people. It wasn't throwing bodies at it. It was like, let's get some great people, and those hires are the people that really built this company. That was Parker, and I talked about that, and it was very clear, like the growth and how they grew slowly and how they had the right people, and it was really important. And then Mark took the mic, or maybe had his own mic, and said,
I bet he had his own.
And then he said, but in sales, it's the opposite. It's hire, sell until the day is long. It doesn't matter. Just sell. Get out there. Make market share. It doesn't matter. Sell. And you know what? Those two visions are what makes up Salesforce. That is the Salesforce that we know. We have this highly concentrated sales machine with 30,000 people, of which I feel 15,000 of them are salespeople. And then you have kind of this heart of the company, these developers who build this great software that we love and we use and we are in every day. And they're almost opposing. They're opposing forces, because one is out there, as you said, selling software that doesn't exist, promising things. They're out there trying to sell my Trailhead. Doesn't have a price yet, but trying to sell it. But then there's people, as we know, the product team, they're deeply involved. They love the user. They're thinking about it. They're trying to build this great software. And I just thought, I sat there watching these two, and I was like, yeah, that's the most real I've ever seen them talk about it. And that's kind of what I love and hate about Salesforce. Kind of those two things. But I do love hearing them.
But you got to love that they talk about it.
But they talk, that's what makes them different. And that's why I stick with this company and stick with what I do with them. And I don't get frustrated and just say I'm out, is because at the end of the day, there's a core of something to Salesforce that's different than most companies. And they have found something special. And while there are things we get mad about, they're also a company that, will apologize. They'll make
That's why I have no problem saying these things. Because imagine if you were a partner of another company and you just started.
I don't know. Okay, whatever. I was gonna make
doesn't matter. And your partnership with that company was kind of a big deal, right? Like, it's kind of your business. And you disparage them on a podcast like this.
And you wonder why you're not podcasting at Dreamforce anymore.
Well, they take it. Well, and sometimes they apologize. Sometimes they take action.
They don't take it. Well, they ask for it.
That's right. And that's why they take it.
There's a difference.
They ask for it, and they know that it might not always be, fresh roses.
It's the one to grow on. Moving on. All right, let's do some CloudFocus picks of the week.
Yes, let's do it.
And we will come back. We'll talk about, we'll have, I guess, 3 or 4 blog posts by that. We'll deep dive into all the blog posts. So if you're waiting to hear your name mispronounced on this podcast, wait another couple weeks. All right, let's move on. And let's see, what's your pick here?
All right. I'm not certain. I'm pretty sure I did pick this.
There's a place that you can go look that actually has every episode now.
Oh my!
I
probably picked this.
You picked this. Not only did you pick this, sort of, but you picked it like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, but it was like a sort of. So now I'm gonna go a little further.
You're the worst pick ever.
So here's the deal.
Spring 14 was a better pick.
That was your pick. So we're at TrailheaDX, and there's a booth. And it's the Adidas booth.
No, I'm just looking at like some of your picks. And they're terrible.
Well, some of your picks are pretty
Capital
great too.
One.
Yeah, they saved me a world of hurt during my wedding.
Absolutely the worst.
I was giving them a shout out as a company.
I did follow it up by picking Apple iCloud, and I picked DataLoader.io.
Yeah, good pick, dude.
Hey, they buy MuleSoft.
Yeah, good job.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Apparently that whole deal came across. I don't think we even talked about it. the whole deal came across in 6 days. It was like, I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
know.
we talked about Cloud Craze, but we didn't talk about MuleSoft. Introducing Integration Cloud. More in the next 2 years.
Yeah, I almost just didn't pay attention. I'm like, when there's something real.
Well, that was one of those things during the keynote, and they're like clicking through what are clearly just like HTML web pages, just like click. Oh, whoa! Look at stuff happen.
I just found a SQL server in Japan.
Done.
Integrate.
Drag, drop, click. Done. Oh, well, that was simple. All right. So Adidas, anyway, had a booth at TrailheaDX. And if you know me and if you've listened to this podcast, then you know that I'm a huge Adidas fan.
Mate and Adidas 24/7.
And their Boost line of sneakers
Sonos,
have changed
Adidas,
my
and
life.
Mate. I can't stop hearing about it.
Yep. And I walked right over to that booth and I was like, your sneakers have changed my life. And I pointed down and I was wearing a pair and another guy was wearing a pair. And they were like, you're not the first person to tell us that. They are totally like game changing. And, we had a really nice conversation and we talked about what they use sales. Like why I actually straight up was like, why are you here? And they told us about their use of the platform, particularly Commerce Cloud. So I'm picking the Adidas app on iOS. And I'm telling you that as a fan of Adidas sneakers, be very careful. Because if you start using this app, now this is where the stories become true. The stuff that Salesforce talks about, Marketing Cloud being able to do when it's integrated with e-commerce from B2C perspective, yeah, it works. It totally, totally works. I buy stuff on my Adidas app and I scroll through my Instagram feed and there's a new hot pair of Adidas. And I could click right over into the app and I know it's all happening being powered by Salesforce Technologies, and kudos for them for using it well.
One of the things they dropped there was that they're working very closely together.
To get it right.
And Salesforce is putting in a lot of effort, aka stuff they wouldn't do for every client. That they're
they got to get it right. This is going to be to me this is a Dreamforce story.
Probably.
The Adidas story will be a Dreamforce story.
Good. Adidas on iOS, free.
Except for all
shoes.
the things you're going to end up buying. But I've already talked about the sneakers.
Yeah,
so this was more about the technology.
Sorry.
I'm going to go back to drinking some mate. You make your pick.
I'm going to. My pick is I'm very excited about this. It was going to come out in July, and so I was going to wait until I read it. But I'm going to pick it anyway because I'm so excited. This is something so everybody knows this podcast, knows Arcus is a GTD place. I'm a GTD person.
It's a GTD place. It's just a place where you do GTD.
Just what you do. That's what we do. And so big fan of David Allen, read all his books, podcasts, whatever, all over the place. And he has talked about this for years and years and years and years. But finally it's true. They are releasing, and not this summer, which was supposed to be, they pulled up the date to April 12th, so within, I guess, 6 days.
Before the next podcast.
That's right. By the time we'll get back, I might have read it. GTD for teenagers.
Are you a teenager?
I'm going to read it because I have a teenager who will be also reading it. Yes, you will.
Yes, you will, young lady.
I just told her on the podcast. So I don't know what it's about other than I know they've taken the principles of GTD, of getting things done, the very famous book that's been republished twice. Now I think it's been out for 20 years or so. And they've rebuilt it and to work for teenagers and in today's society. So like, how do you bring some of those concepts and make them into something that a teenager would be excited about? So I'm super excited. I'm hoping this is not a total fail. I'm picking it because I'm just blind faith David Allen and the Getting Things Done Inc. Please do not mess this up. I will be reading it. I bought extra copies. I might just be handing out to all the adolescents I know, so you'll get a copy. And
you'll be reading
I think
it first.
It's $12 or so, and on Kindle it's $9. It's on Amazon, so go for it. GTD or Getting Things Done for Teenagers, or maybe it might be GTD Getting Things Done for Teens, which is probably more cool. All right, well that finishes up for us for the week. At Just Edelstein, at Jason M. Atwood, at Arcus Inc. We're on Facebook for now. Success Community and Power Hub groups, LinkedIn, Google+. Next week, we will come back, by the way. I think we'll talk about blogs, MuleSoft, and Facebook. We should probably have a conversation about that.
Yeah, we probably should, shouldn't
I think
we?
we should have a conversation. I've been noodling it. I've been noodling too. And
well,
good. Well, when we get back,
we'll talk about it when we get back.
No, won't go there. All right, that'll make this explicit.
Yeah, please.
All right, subscribe and review in iTunes.
You can't do that on the internet.
Google, tune in.
Almost too close.
No, can't go there.
Nope.
It's a bad, Justin. Don't make me have
turn Justin's mic off.
Don't make me have to bleep out this podcast as well. Just like 278.
I'll never hear the end of that one.
No, I mean we're not even within a year. 10 years, I think, is the limit for messing up.
It's not you. It's others.
Oh, the others. Yes. Well,
the
others.
others.
Fun. All right, we'll be back in a couple of days, weeks, or years. It's Justin and Jason saying, enjoy those cloudy days.